श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Welcome to the call today. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 8, verse number 13 and 14. Kalasyanu gatiryatu lakshyate nvi brahati yavat yaha karma gatayo yadrishir dvijasattama. O purest of the Brahmins, please also explain the cause of different durations of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time following the course of action. Next one is 14. Canto 2, chapter 8, verse number 14. Yasmin karma samavayo yata yeno pagruhyate guninam chaiva parinamam abhipsatam. One more time. Yasmin karma samavayo yata yona pagruhyate guninam chaiva parinamam abhipsatam. Synonyms. Yasmin, in which karma, actions, samavaya, accumulation, yatha, as far as, yena, by which, upagruhyate, takes over, gunanam, of the different modes of the middle nature, guninam, of the living beings, cha, also, eva, certainly, parinamam, resultant, abhipsatam, of the desires. Translation. Then again, kindly describe how the proportionate accumulation of the reactions resulting from the different modes of material nature act upon the desiring living being, promoting or degrading him among the different species of life. Beginning from the demigods down to the most insignificant. The actions and reactions of all works in the material modes of nature, either in the minute form or in the gigantic form, are accumulated. And thus, the result of such accumulated actions and reactions of karma or work become manifested in the same proportion. How such actions and reactions take place, what the different procedures are, and in what proportion they act are all subject matters of Maharaj Parikshit's inquiries from the great Brahmana Sukadeva Goswami. Life in higher planets, known as abodes of denizens of heaven, is obtained not by strength of a spacecraft, as is now being contemplated by the inexperienced scientist, but by works done in the mode of goodness. Even on the very planet where we are now living, there are restrictions upon the entrance of the foreigners into a country where the citizens are more prosperous. For example, the American government has many restrictions for the entrance of foreigners from less prosperous countries. The reason is that Americans do not wish to share their prosperity with any foreigner who has not qualified himself as a citizen of America. Similarly, the same mentality is prevailing in every other planet where there are more intelligent living beings residing. The higher planetary living conditions are all in the mode of goodness. And anyone desiring to enter the higher planets like the moon, sun, and the Venus must qualify thoroughly by activity in complete goodness. Maharaj Parikshit's inquiries are on the basis of proportionate actions of goodness, which qualify one in this planet to be promoted to the highest regions of the universe. Even on this planet of our present residence, one cannot achieve a good position within the social order without being qualified with proportionate good work. One cannot forcibly sit on the chair of a high court judge without being qualified for the post. Similarly, one cannot enter into the higher planetary systems without being qualified by a good works in this life. Persons addicted to the habits of passion and ignorance have no chance of entering the higher planetary systems simply by electronic mechanism. According to the statement of Bhagavad Gita 9:25, persons trying to qualify themselves for the promotion to the higher heavenly planets can go there. Similarly, the persons trying for the Pitra Lokas can go there. Similarly, persons trying to improve the conditions on this earth can also do that. And the persons who are engaged in going back home, back to Godhead, can achieve that result. The various actions and reactions of work in the mode of goodness are generally known as pious work with devotion service, culture of knowledge with devotion service, mystic powers with devotion service, and at last, devotion service unmixed with any other varieties of goodness. This unmixed devotion service is transcendental and is called Parabhakti. It alone can promote a person to the transcendental kingdom of God. Such a transcendental kingdom is not a myth, but is as factual as the moon. One must have transcendental qualities to understand the kingdom of God and God Himself. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Vishakan Shri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Spatikakrutim Adaram Sarva Vidhyanam Hayagrivam Upasme. Hare Krishna. So thank you for being in the association of all the devotees today. I was thinking, and I was also talking the other day, that when our dear Dhanajapanit Prabhu was giving a class, that the purport was talking about qualification of Srimad Bhagavatam reading and preaching. I have no qualification, honestly, but by the Guru's mercy and the devotees of, I seek all your blessings to pray for me, to bless me, so that I can speak something on the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam for the today's topic. So the verse number 13 and verse number 14. Verse number 13 did not have much explanation or purport, but I'll see what I can explain with whatever I know, little bit limited knowledge. So please bear with me and forgive me if I get into any of unnecessary talks or which is not relevant in the subject matter. The one thing comes to my mind in this is verse number 13. Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring Shukadeva Goswami, and there is a conversation happening between the great devotees, and there are thousands, so many people, so many devotees sitting there and hearing their question and answers. Likewise, Krishna and Arjuna, there was a conversation with a question and answer, and Maitreya and Vidura, question and answer, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami, question and answer, Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, question and answer, and Krishna and Uddhava, question and answer. Like this, whole Srimad Bhagavatam, many scriptures, if you look at even Garga Samhita, Bahulashva, Narada Muni, something like that. There was every scripture, there is a samvada, there is a discussion going on between two people, and all others are getting benefit. It's a lot of benefits for all of us, because somebody is discussing, we are hearing, and we are getting benefit out of what they're asking, because I am a dull-headed, I don't know what to ask question. And the speaker is an amazing speaker. He speaks like Maharaj was speaking yesterday, and we're all listening yesterday. And on the hand, what was he discussing? From the various scriptures of what's the Krishna's pastime. And when pure devotee is speaking, people, I saw so many people yesterday, that how all newcomers, they were just completely immersed in Krishna Katha, even including children. I can speak hours of lecture, but nobody can even think about chanting Hare Krishna or even getting Bhagavatam. When Maharaj spoke yesterday, one devotee, I never saw him, a newcomer, he took the mic and asked a few questions. And Maharaj was very pleased, and he was telling, yeah, I saw you were very immersed in this Bhagavatam. Why? Krishna is, Maharaj is carrying his intense bhakti for Krishna, and that intensity is also pervading to others. And he's sharing that intensity of Krishna's consciousness to others, and even others get melted, their heart, and purification happens. This is the kind of conversation going on even between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami. And we are all getting benefited, because we don't know what to ask question. Now he is asking one of the questions here in 13, that please explain the cause of a different durations of time. short or long, as well as the beginning of the time following the course of action. So it's difficult to understand what the time is. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, time I am. Time destroys everything. The time factor in spiritual world is different. I don't think there is a time like that. But in this material world, everything has an expiry. The moment somebody is born, there is an expiry date. Go to buy something material, food item, etc. Matter, there is a shelf life, which is expiry date. And then Parikshit Maharaj is asking more about that. What is the durations of time? Think about, what about the Kali Yuga? We are talking about 100 years. Before us, before Kali Yuga is Dwapara in millennium. And Dwapara, how many years? 10,000 years. Before that, some 100,000 years, something like that, right? Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. The duration was highly, it's think about how many years you can live. 10,000 years, 100,000 years. Oh my goodness. 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 100,000 years. How do you even think about it? Few days ago, Sandhya Mataji was explaining me the height of, even in the Dwapara Yuga, the height of the human beings were like 30 feet, 25 feet. Krishna was 12 feet, something like that. I didn't know. I never knew about it. So based on that age, their duration of life, how? So these are all the questions he's asking. And for an ant, it has its own time, and a fly, it has its own time. Even in the when you see the mercury or any other light, sodium vapor light, the lights, they normally, the same insects goes and sit on it, and we can see. And in the morning, in our morning, that happens in the night, and next morning, everything, all the living entities are there, all those insects are dead. For them, it is 100 years for them. But for us, it is just one night, right? So one kalpa of Brahma, it might be a day of Brahma or the whole kalpa of 100 years of Brahma. It can be based on the context. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking all this question. What is this? How do we, and is it a short or long as the beginning of the time following course of action? That's what I understand. So from the next verse, pretty much is asking another two questions here, Parikshit Maharaj. Describe the proportionate accumulations of the reactions resulting from different modes of nature acting upon desire living a being, whether he promoting or degrading, all the way from demigod to the insignificant creatures. So this is the question he asked, but by our mercy of Srila Prabhupada, purport has already given the answer. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the answers might come in the future cantos, like in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. For this answer, I think there is one second, I think I opened somewhere. In the third canto, 31st chapter, first text, if I understand, I was just doing some research. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Karmana Daivanetrena Jantur Dehopa Pattaye Striya Pravista Udaram Pumso Reta Kanastraya. Translation: the personality of Godhead said, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of a male semen to assume the particular body of life. It says that after suffering different kinds of hellish conditions, a man comes again to the human form of body. The same topic is continued in this chapter, which is 31st chapter. In order to give a particular type of a human form to a person who has already suffered hellish life, the soul is transferred to the semen of a man who has just suitable to become his father. During the sexual intercourse, the soul is transferred through the semen of a father into the mother's womb in order to produce a particular body, type of body. This process is applicable to all embodied living entities, but is especially mentioned for the man who has transferred to the Tamishra hell after suffering there when he who had many types of hellish bodies, like those of a dogs and hogs, is to come again to the human form. He is given the chance to take the birth, the same type of the body from which he is degraded himself to the hell. Everything is done by the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Material nature supplies the body, but it does so under the direction of the super soul. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that the living entity is wandering with its material world on a chariot made by material nature. The Supreme Lord, as super soul, is always present with the individual soul. He directs material nature to supply and the material nature supplies it. Here, one word, Reta Kanashraya, is very significant because indicates that it is not the semen of a man that creates life within the womb of a woman. Rather, the living entity, the soul, takes shelter in a particular semen and then is pushed into the womb of a woman. Then the body develops. There is no possibility of creating a living entity without the presence of a soul simply by the sexual intercourse. The materialistic theory that there is no soul and the child is born simply by material combination of a sperm and a woman is not very feasible. It is unacceptable. See, this is the work in the later chapters. It's been explained for the question what we just read. So what do we do? It's $1 million question. And even Prabhupada said in this life of the denizens, the higher planetary system, even what is the qualification to go to the higher planetary system? The qualification is you have to be in the goodness, at least for the whole life, do good, and at least and that way you're qualified to go to the Swargaloka. And there is no disease. They are born young, they will live young, they will die young. So much enjoyment. But is one thing, and their body is fragrant. The devatas come to this planet, suppose, and take a dip in a river. That the whole river will be in fragrant, and the fragrance coming from that body of the devata can spread for 80 kilometers. I don't think they pass stool or something. They're the administrators of the material world. They're very happy. And like that, they attained because of their qualification of being in goodness. And think about this planet. Prabhupada is talking about America. Nobody can get into America without a visa or a green card or a citizenship. There is so many people waiting for visas today. Oh my God, my date went back. I'm waiting for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. Sometimes I get it like two years. People are lucky enough to get it, they will get it. Otherwise, the people are waiting for many years. Even to get a visa, I lucky dip today. There are so many, even because the country like America doesn't allow people to come in from a different country. What do you think about going to the higher planetary system? There is no way. So the point is, and Prabhupada also explains Not the way we have electronic mechanism that I can go to the moon. No, we have to attain the qualification of goodness. And Prabhupada explains very nicely in this shloka of Yanti Deva Vrita Deva Pitrun Yanti Pitrabrata Putani Yanti Putejya Yanti Mad Yajinom Imam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors, Pitraloka. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among the such beings, Harry Potter Loka. And those who worship me will live with me. So this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives us that knowledge of where and how you can go back to Godhead is by Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami Masuchaha. Krishna is promising and is assuring that just surrender unto me, I will take care of you completely. Don't worry about it. I will liberate you from these clutches of Maya. I will completely, protect you. That means if we, what is the Sharanagati means? If we, any of us, will have complete faith in Krishna, and then we think that Krishna is the only protector and he is the only maintainer for all of us. That is the faith, that is the Sharanagati. Otherwise, we will be thinking, I am dependent, I'm independent. You cannot be independent. Next thing is fear. Even Devatas, they have a very wonderful life, but they also have a fear that there is a time comes them and time kicks in, they'll also die one day. So this is the problem. So now in the last few lines of the purport, Prabhupada explains that what kind of bhakti is essential for us to go back to Godhead is actually karma mishra bhakti, gnana mishra bhakti, yoga mishra bhakti, and bhakti itself, which is uninterrupted, unmotivated, uninterrupted bhakti, para bhakti. Some people have the bhakti, but there is karma mishrita, which is not easy, right? And some people have gnana, they have bhakti, but they want to achieve something that I know this shloka, this purana, I know I can quote everything, I can say this. So that tinge of the gnana show off is there. And yoga miksha bhakti, oh, I am doing bhakti, Krishna, make me a best singer. Make me a best, whatever it is. That yoga mishra bhakti is there. But we need to ask, what we need to have is uninterrupted aprati ataha. What is that verse? Anybody wants to say? Apratihata, and what is the other one? Uninterrupted, unmotivated, sorry.
Savai pumsam parodharmo.
Apratihata, unmotivated and uninterrupted bhakti, right? So that means it should be selfless and seamless. Like the way when you pour the water from the tap, or you just take the jug or a pitcher and pour the water sprays everywhere, sprinkles everywhere, spatters everywhere. It's interrupted. But if you look at the honey, you pour the same honey or some oil, it will be consistent, uninterrupted. So the para bhakti means we need to have a bhakti in such a way that it should be uninterrupted, that is, which is selfless and seamless. If we have this kind of bhakti, which is the purity of intent and then consistent. And not only that, but it also with intensity. If we have these three, that is the one which will save us and make us go back to God. I'll just, I think it is 8:04, but I'll give one narration, one couple minutes of narration of what Prahlad Maharaj asked. When Narsingadev appeared and he killed Hiranyakashipu, he asked for the benediction to Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj says, what kind of benediction I need, Narsingadev? My God, I don't need anything. You have put your hand on my head. The goddess Lakshmi Devi doing her seva, Pada seva every day. You did not put your hand on his Lakshmi's head. You took her in your chest, Vakshasthala. And I don't think you gave this benediction in putting your head on even Lord Shiva. But you're so merciful to me that you put your hand on my head. What else you need? I don't need anything. I'm very happy with that. And you're asking me the benedictions? No, I am already an Asura in my blood. And what if I'll be doing business with you as a merchant? So I don't want anything. The only thing I need is to have mercy on my on his father, which is Hiranyakashipu, and deliver him. And Narsingadev said, don't worry, you're already 21 generations are liberated. And the next benediction he asked is, Narsingadev, I don't need anything. Please, only thing I pray is I don't want any material desires in my heart. And the only I need is bhakti, that is your surrender. Please, that bhakti you give to me. We can all endeavor for that bhakti, but it is not that we can achieve the bhakti on our own. It is actually, bhakti is rewarded by the mercy of Vaishnavas, like our Guru and Krishna. It's coming like that. It's not easy. So that awarded bhakti will come only by the seamless, selfless, and seamless services to Krishna. So I think I will stop here. Thank for all your patience, and please forgive me. I went beyond time. Thank you very much. Vansha kalpatrubhyascha krupasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. If anybody have a 1 minute comment or questions, please go ahead if you have time. Okay, Lakshmikant Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very nice class.
Dandavat pranam.
I liked your glorification of pure bhakti, pure devotion. It's very nice.
Thank you, Prabhu. I need to learn from you. That I don't have even tinge of that. Thank you for your prayers and blessings.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hari Hari.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a nice class. I don't know if you know the answer for this technical question. I mean, because the Prabhupada is talking about going to the other planetary systems and all. I just got, what does the modern science says or scientist says about the because I know it comes from sun. They say the moon is not a star. It doesn't have any kind of light. It reflection or whatever it is, right? I mean, somewhere that's how it is. But when they went there, right, all the pictures that we saw is kind of some kind of sand or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, Prabhupada, many devotees asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, I don't think they went to the moon.
Yeah, that is true. But
planet.
what is the modern science explains about that light? I mean, because by going there, right? So I mean, they didn't see anything. I mean, like a transparent material, right? It is not a transparent material what they got. So I mean, I'm just trying to say what modern scientists say, Prabhu, for that.
I don't know, Prabhu. Scientists will say, even in fact, he says, telling, the modern scientists, they will say everything. Even they're planning for to launch another. See, if at all they
Now
want
they're
to
thinking.
did go to moon, did want to go to moon, they would have gone now, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
They're only going to Mars now, so why not moon then, right? Even that it's not an easy thing. A qualification to go to moon is to have the mode of goodness. It's not easy. It's because it's also a higher planetary, it's a higher planetary system in that way. So I don't think, maybe Gopal Hari Prabhu can answer.
Yeah.
He's a professor.
What was the question again, Prabhu? I missed it.
Now the question, Prabhu, I mean, from the modern science perspective, right? I mean, how the moon is bright light comes. I mean, it talks about it is because from sun, right? So then, but when they went to moon, all they found it's like a dull matter there, right? I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's like a kind of some dust and all. They got some rocks, whatever it is, right? But what is the explanation from that perspective that how the light is coming from moon, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I don't know if yeah.
the modern scientists, they say that there's something about the rock, the sand, the substance of the moon, that it reflects the light of the sun.
Wow, okay.
That's why it's shiny. And that's the whole thing. It's like there's so many planets, but why that one planet is so shiny that every night it's so brilliant and so beautiful? They say the stars are other suns. That makes sense. Okay, the sun is a bright, fiery planet, but this moon is far more brilliant than the stars, yet it's just a reflection. Somehow in outer space there's a there's a mirror that's moving around, a big mirror that reflects it, and it all happened by chance. That's the amazing part. That's the most amazing part. That thing, it happened by chance. So every time we see something very wonderful, we can just remember that it all happened by chance. The next we eat a nice gulab jamun, we can just meditate. It all happened by chance. That's the that happened by chance. And
So they say that
Even the sun, do you think the sun is a fiery ball, Prabhu? I don't think it's a fiery ball, right?
well, according to science, it's just a ball of fire gas.
Yeah. According to the scientists, but our based on Srimad Bhagavatam, what is basically sun? It's emanating from Krishna, right?
Yes, no, it's a full planet with the sun god there, and like you're emanating from Krishna. And that's why the moon also, that's why we would say, no, the moon is not that moon. They went to some planet. We
yeah.
don't say that maybe it's all conspiracy. They are going to planets, but did they go to that brilliant planet? That's unlikely. And that's why Prabhupada may have said that they didn't go to the moon, because that planet is a very brilliant planet, like the sun, like Prabhu, like you're saying.
So the material itself, they're saying that it's a reflective material. Okay.
It's all the mirror pieces somebody put there.
Yeah, but they got it. I don't know if they're able to do that reflection using that material what they got from there. So anyway, I saw a lot of I mean long back moon hoax, right? A lot of things. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we can stop here, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam to everyone for joining. If you have any reflections, otherwise I think we can close the call.
Okay, Prabhu.